Alrighty, let's take a look at this families of functions review. So some review here. We'll take a look at most of these problems just to kind of help get you guys going. Just make sure that you are actually doing them first, or at least trying to do them. And trying to do them doesn't mean you pull out the paper and you look at them. And, that's kind of what you're going with. So let's take a look. So these first ones, we're dealing with functions. And anytime we're given that function number in the middle, it wants us to evaluate. It wants us to figure out what is going on in this function when we change the variables to 4. Okay? So we're finding a point essentially on there. So we just go like this. F of 4, rewrite it, equals 2 times 4 plus 1 over negative 3. Then we simplify. 2 times 4, that's 8, plus 1 gives us 9. 9 over negative 3. And remember, this part is like we're saying, when the input is 4, the output is whatever we come up with. So we don't deal with that guy. We just stick him down here at the end. Okay, 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. So there we go. So that tells us when we input 4, we get out a negative 3. Our x value is 4. Our y value is negative 3. Input, output, all that good stuff. Okay, same idea if we do it for number 2. Except this time we're putting in negative 4. So I go f of negative 4 equals negative 5. And instead of x, we put negative 4 squared plus 3 times negative 4. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Okay. So we don't worry about that piece till the end. Okay. So negative 4 squared, following order of operations, we always do exponents first. So negative 4 squared is 16 times 5 plus 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. 5 times 16 is some number. What's that? 0, 3, 80. 80 plus negative 12. So that's like 80 minus 12. Okay, that gives us 68 for our answer. Okay, simple enough, right, guys? All right, let's take. I'm going to let you guys do number 4 on your own, but I'll take a look at number 3 real quick. Okay, so taking a look at number 3. So remember those bars right there mean absolute value. Okay, so we start off by putting negative 5 into our function. Negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. Absolute value of negative 3 makes it positive 3. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 2 gives us 11 for our answer. Okay? Just simple plugging it in like that and just working through the problem. Okay? So, I think you guys can handle number 4 on your own. Alright, now naming that function. Okay, this is stuff that we kind of talked about in class. There should be some that are pretty easy to tell what type they are. Number 6, classic straight lines forming a V shape. Okay, got to be absolute value. Number 8, we've got a U or an N shape, okay, curved, going up or down both sides. Okay, classic parabola, but its real name is actually quadratic. You guys dealt with that a lot last year, so should be good. And when I said last year, I mean math 2, obviously. Okay, 7 and 5 might be a little trickier. 7 you dealt with as freshmen, okay, and that's when you kind of hit an asymptote here, won't go below this, and it keeps moving up at an exponential rate. Okay, number 5 is probably the trickiest one because you probably haven't dealt with it very much. Okay, but kind of almost looks like the opposite of an exponential. Okay, starting down and then kind of curving to the right. That's called logarithmic. Alright, 9 and 10. Okay, so 9, now this one, when we rise up like this, start going down, end up going up, have this is a classic cubic style graph, and 10 should be the simplest of all. It's a line, therefore it is linear. No extra craziness going on there. Alright, so on to the last 4. Now, talking about graphing. Okay, number 11, you guys should remember how to graph slope-intercept form, but it could be a while since you've looked at it. Remember, that's the y equals mx plus b format. Okay, so this right there is our y-intercept. That's like the b. That's your y-intercept. So we go to -3. There's our y-intercept. We draw that point. The m is our slope, so our slope is a -8/5. -8 means we go down, +5 to the right. Okay, so I could try to go down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. To the right 5. Looks something like that. I can also swap out that negative for the bottom, and then I'd go up 8 and to the left 5. I'd go opposite, which is basically the same thing. Okay, so we'd go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 8, 6, 7, 8 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our graph, our line would look something like that. Okay, our linear, so it ends up with a line. Okay, 12 here, we've got an exponential, right? Because our x is an exponent. Okay, the easiest way to think of these ones, kind of similar to the slope-intercept form, it's called a times b to the x. So this base, this number, the exponent, that's what we're multiplying by. That's how we're growing. Okay, the a is our y-intercept. So we start at 4. And then the way we think about it is, every time we go to the right one, we're going to double. So what's 4 times 2? It's 8. So as we go to the right, we're going to double 8 up to 16. As we go to the right, we double that, clear up to, 32. If we're thinking about going backwards, well, what times 2 is 4? It's 2. So as we go back 1, we cut it in half. Kind of the opposite. So we go back 1, we cut it in half. As we go back 1, we cut it in half. Notice we're cutting things in half, so what ends up happening is we get as close as possible to 0, and that was actually a bad one. But we're never going to go down below 0, so it starts down here and rises up very quickly. Okay, there's our linear, there's our exponential. Alright, now last year, Math 2 dealt a lot with this, so I'm going to let you guys try that one on your own. Okay, remember this is called vertex form. If you need to, go look it up to get some extra help. I want to make sure you guys try that one on your own first. Okay, but it's going to be a quadratic because it's squared, so it's going to have some sort of U shape. Okay. Now 4, this was a linear inequality. Okay, because that's greater than or equal to. That throws us off. We treat it just like we did number 11, only we add a few things to it. So think of it first as this equation. So my y-intercept of 4 and the negative, my slope of 2, make it a fraction, 2 over 1, positive, up to the right. Up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and so on and so forth. Okay, but that's where we stop. Or down 2 into the left one. Okay, when we're thinking about similarities to the other one. Then we've got to check to see, with inequalities, it could be a solid line, it could be a dotted line, and we're going to have to figure out which side to shade. So looking at the inequality, if it's greater than or less than, it's dotted. Ours has the equal to. Equal to's are solid. So I draw a solid line here. Then I decide where do we shade. Okay. The way we do that is by looking at a test point. Okay? Because if we shade on this side, that means our answer is on that side. If we shade, however, on this side, our answer is going to be on this side. So we pick one and check to see is it the answer or not. So I like to pick 0, 0 as my test point. X value of 0, y value of 0. Plug 0 in for y. Plug 0 in for x. And then solve. 0 stays 0. 2 times 0 is 0. Minus 4 is negative 4. Is 0 greater than negative 4? Yes, it is. That's true, so that's an answer, which means that's the side we shade. If it were false, we'd shade the opposite side. Okay? So there, guys, is a quick rundown on pretty much this homework. So hopefully you are ready to go with things, and make sure you got this stuff down and do these problems that I didn't do. There was only 2 of them, So check that and get it done.